All right. Today is October 15th, 2025, and the market has been absolutely nuts recently. I haven't been trading, honestly. I was mentally fatigued all through August, September. I just didn't trade. I was I just relaxed. And it turned out to be the worst time, too. It was like the most um, frothy environment we've had since maybe last year around this time. Last year, December, January ish. Um, Couple sectors have been moving. You probably already know AI data centers, these crypto, these stocks used to just mine Bitcoin. Now they're crypto data centers. Um, metals and materials, metals and minerals. Sorry, have just been going ballistic. A lot of these small caps, shitco companies, they've been going ballistic as well, and provided great shorts. And I'm gonna talk about my trade. This is my first trade I put on in probably 2 months. I was paying attention to the market, just completely. I just wasn't understanding the plays. It wasn't making sense to me. Although I did understand MP. Um, I think I had it around here. I had it this day. Got stopped at around here, and then it kind of just didn't pay attention to it. You know, came back up. Same with NBIS. I think I was trading it around here, like around this area here. And broke out on some news. I drew this line here. Like even when I wasn't trading, I was still like phantom trading, I guess, and still didn't take this trade. A lot of trades that I didn't take that but I was still paying attention to. The it just wasn't making sense to me. I don't even know how to explain it, but even how easy it's been, how yeah, just how easy it's been, it still wasn't making sense. So I just had to take a break. I just mentally exhausted, studying, doing videos and doing write-ups multiple hours a day while waking up early, going to work late. It is what it is. Whatever. It's part of the process. Whatever. Who cares? But today I'm going to talk about my trade that I came back to. I was stalking these all these mineral batteries, lithium stocks. They're all kind of in the same sector, but within the sector there are different sectors, but some of them being worse than others. Like this one, ALBM. This one doesn't really had a. This one wasn't really affected by the tariffs and Trump and all the political things that are going on with this sector currently. This was just like a hype play for this one. ABAT, same thing. It did break out on earnings, but it did get super extended. Missed this play. By the way, I missed all of these, and mind you, I shorted yesterday, but I still lost money. And I'm going to talk about why and how or what my thesis was, and basically my report card that I wrote down um, that I did. So basically, what I'm going to talk about is the overall market. Overall market has been going straight up here, as you can see. Um, it's just insane momentum and same strength on these names, and they just refuse to go down. While the strongest names among these were these materials stocks, and I was stocking these, and I saw them starting to gap up, um, especially something like this, and then UAMY and CRML were on my top watch. Those were my two. You will look at it at my report card, but those are my two top watches. I actually had four of them. It was ABAT, AREC, CRML, and this one. I think I don't know if I said that already, but anyways. So I mean, these were perfect parabolic setups. You can see here, they were in the right sector. They were in the right. The hype was there. They're in the right theme. And you see the increasing volume. The volume kept increasing, and then they started gapping, and then the volume kept going higher and higher, and these candles were getting longer and more volume, and they're getting faster. That's kind of what you want to see here. These are pure parabolics. These are the ones you want to short. So my thesis going into this day before, which was I believe Monday, I was studying my previous. I was looking at my previous data or the stocks I did study, and I looked at SMCI. I'll show you guys right now. Let's see here. Let's see here. So SMCI did a review on this one. Let's see, where is it at? Here we go. So you see some stocks that I study here. I only have like 93 notes, but some of them are pretty in depth. But here's one, SMCI. So I was looking at SMCI and parabolic here, almost identical moves to all these other ones. You can see here, out of a big base on some news, and then they started just going straight up, and the candles started gapping, and the candles got bigger here. You can see here, the gap started getting further apart, and then the volume just started increasing as well. So I studied this day here, right? I did a little write up. Full the move wasn't fully over, blah blah blah, whatever. So I was looking at this on the short day, on the day that it gapped up, and got super short. So I was looking at this, and I was looking at the 2 minute chart, which is what I usually trade off of, and you can see that it kind of tested the pre-market highs or pre-market level right there, and it just sold off. And in my studies, this is a 5 minute chart, right at the pre-market highs. And this is a 15-minute chart. There's like different dimensions and different charts of how to look for it, just in case I see it on a different, I want to see it on a different time frame. Sorry. So I was looking at it here, just different forms, an hourly. I think this is the hour and 30 minute, and then so this was the day that it broke down, obviously, and then it bounced back and recovered, and then sold off again. And this is the blow off top, and then it recovered. So I really want to pay attention to this blow off top, which is what the screenshots were. I also think if I just type in here, if I type in parabolic, are you not gonna search it up for me? Oops. There we go, parabolic. So MSTR as well, very similar setup coming out of these bases and surfing these moving averages, and then it starts to go parabolic. Uh, Candles start getting bigger. You see the volume starts picking up, and the gaps getting wider. And same exact thing. Now looking at this on a different time frame. I think I'm looking at this on this time frame because this is in the past. I didn't get the current day set up. But you can see here gaps up. Is this pre-market? Yeah. This is the what day is this? What time frame? This is the daily. But this is the intraday as well in here. I don't know. What am I looking at? 15 minutes. So this is the 15-minute chart of that day. As you can see, it just gets sold off early, first thing in the morning. Here is the 5 minute chart. You can see the open here, and it just completely sold off. There is a slight bounce here, and then it just completely gets sold off. Another bounce, and it gets sold off. So I knew coming into this that most likely that these stocks were gonna, get sold off first thing in the morning. Not only from longs getting, selling their positions, and also shorts coming in to buy. Same thing with, I think Nikola has the same exact thing. Nikola's a little different. This was super quick. After the fact, yes, here it is. Do I have an intraday chart of it? Here, so there. Just see, you can see how you can get like it gets parabolic, comes back down, and then gets even more parabolic. You see the volume just starts to pick up, slowly starts to surf these moving averages, starts to pick up, gaps up, and then gets extended, and it gaps up even more. This is the telltale sign of a parabolic stock, right? So let's look at this. Same thing. Is this the daily? Yeah, it's the daily. Weekly chart. Do I have an intraday chart? I don't. I do not have an intraday chart of this one. But as you can see by this candle, it's straight red first thing in the morning. I think RVSN kind of, this one's a lot quicker. So some more studies. 2022, oh no. No, I don't have parabolic in here. Anyway, so I have a few stocks here. I think I have to build up my playbook for this one. But you can see, I had a couple stocks here that were looking at some shorts, and I looked at some other shorts that I don't have in here. But anyways, my idea was, let's go back. So I was looking at UAMY. I think UAMY was the best one in terms of the gap as well. And CRML, I think another one was, this was a great one as well. So these are my two top watches. They gapped up massively. You can see the volume start to increase, get away from this moving averages, and then gapped up 29%. UAMY gapped up 17%. So these things were like perfect setups. These were the great perfect setups. Now I picked CRML over UAMY. I thought this was like a, I guess less of a leader, I would say. This here was rumors on Trump buying the stock. I think since it was rumors, it wasn't as strong as it should have been. Um, if they actually did buy it, so I was looking at these two, and I decided to trade CRML. Now it did exactly what I wanted. It gapped up, and I was also paying attention to the pre-market levels due to the fact that most of these parabolic stocks they don't really go past parabolic levels. Now, if, I think GameStop was another one. If you look back, do I still have it? Here it is. Yeah. So this one's a little different. It opened up here and gapped up. I'm sorry, it opened up here and bounced. What's AMC? AMC gapped down. This is the yeah. Alrighty. But anyways, going back, perfect setup. I was paying attention to pre-market levels. I actually have a picture in this. Here, let's go over my write-up. So, as you can see here, the ones I talked about. Typically, parabolic stocks fade right at the open. Looking at my database for shorts that I have studied, the parabolic ones from, for example, SMCI in February, MSTR in November 2022, and Nikola in 2020. Is that one on my database here? Anyways. So here's a picture of what I looked like. So these are the stocks I was watching: ABAT, AREC, CRML, and UAMY. And I think these were some of the best ones to short. Actually, AREC. Some of these names had some insane strength. So this one was down 15% and bounced all the way back up. It went up 34% of the day and then up to 40%. So there was a 40% move from the low to high. And that was, you can see here, it faded in the morning and then it just completely worked its way back up. So in the first thing in the morning, it would have worked out great, right? What about ABAT? ABAT, same thing with this one. Opened up here, sold straight off, and then recovered 31% from the low. So now, a day early, oh well. I still took a loss. Who cares? But looking at this chart here, you can see that they all respected the pre-market levels. All of them. They just failed right at the open. And this was like a perfect setup. It's exactly what you want to see. So I decided, I was like, okay, well, I'll wait for a bounce in CRML. I'll wait for a bounce towards VWAP. And I'll wait for it to get above it or touch VWAP. And then once it starts to fail VWAP, I'll start to short into it. Because there's been times in the past where I short when it gets right into VWAP, and then I have a really tight stop because I'm going big size, and it gets stopped out. It goes up a couple of cents higher, and then it comes right back down below VWAP and just fails. So that was my plan. And you see, I drew some lines here in the morning. Now this point right here, this reminded me exactly as SMCI. If we go back to here, let's go back to here. If we look at SMCI, it looks exactly, almost identical. As you can see here, like a little bit of fade in the morning. Now this one was in market open. It bounced and then it bounced towards the pre-market highs and then failed. Now this one looked exactly like it. Let's go back. Sorry, I gotta go back and forth. If you look at it here, CRML, you can kind of see it fades, comes back to like these pre-market high levels, and then completely fades. And came to same thing with here with UAMY, similar idea, but this one looks exactly like SMCI. And I'm watching at this thing, I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, okay, well, it's hitting your level. Are you gonna get in? And I just never pulled the trigger. I was scared. I wasn't confident in myself and in the studies that I've done in the past. That's all it is that I haven't studied enough to trust myself. Even though I have the data, and I saw it literally, I studied it the day before and that morning of. I woke up even earlier to trade this stuff, but I still didn't pull the trigger. Still had some of that fear. So I need to study more, and I've been studying a lot more recently with this, or I've been trying to at least. So you can see here, kind of shitty video or photo, but you can see starts to fail. It just fails straight out of the open. Fail, fail, fail. I mean, and so my plan was to wait for it to bounce towards VWAP, and then when it started rejecting VWAP to short it. So you can see here, big collapse out of the open, and then there's a big bounce. Now, mind you, I didn't even think about buying the bounce. I just didn't even come to my mind to buy the bounce. I don't even know why I didn't buy it. That's in a trade in itself that I also like. I studied before, so I'm over here like after the fact. I was like, why didn't I just buy the bounce? I was just an idiot. But anyways, you can see here, I waited for it to get to VWAP, and I had some patience, right? I waited. It kind of failed. Got above these highs, failed again, and when it was sitting at VWAP, it failed, and I wanted to slam it down. So that's what I did. I shorted it right at 26.50, and I was like, you know what? I'll actually my stop was up here, and I brought it down because I obviously kind of had a feeling that this wasn't gonna work. I saw it come right back up, and I was like, oh lord. And then it kind of came back down and came right back up, and I was like, oh lord, this is not good. And then it opened up, tried it one more time, and then just got the shorts just I guess covered just like me and created this candle, whatever. And then I just knew there wasn't really an opportunity to get back in. Because once it kind of reclaimed VWAP, I saw it again creating this like downtrending chart here, but there wasn't really an entry, in my opinion. Once it creates something like I was like either if it creates a range and breaks down into VWAP again, fine, but I don't want to touch this thing, so I just took the loss. It was like $1,000. I decided to size up on this though because I really had confidence in this setup here, not up here when I studied all this stuff, but down here. Um, so yeah, that's what I get. But you can see my thought process. I waited for it to go below VWAP and then get short, not shorting it in here when it's coming back up, because then I would have got flushed out here. But you can see. So I talked about it here. Once I missed the initial flush, blah blah blah. And I talked about how I forgot about the right side of the V pattern here. So these are the other ones. I talked about the other stocks that I was looking at. Like they ended up turning green on the day. That whole sector. But UAMY, the one that I was paying attention to the most, which I believe was most parabolic, I just didn't touch it. I got scared. Um, and I really do believe they were all easy money trades. I mean, they were all perfect setups for parabolics. I mean, they just bounced harder than most people thought. And then today would have been day two or continuation to the downside. Actually, not even continuation because most of them closed green. But today would have been like another chance. And today was that day. Today was that chance. But since I took a much bigger loss yesterday, I was like, well, yeah, I'll just take the loss and just take today off. Just keep my mind clear. And once again, I missed the move. That's been my year so far. It's been missing moves. I remember back last year, I missed this move here, MSTR. I shorted it a day early. I shorted it on this day and missed this day. Same exact thing that happened to me with all these stocks. Shorted it here, missed this day. UAMY, didn't take the trade. That's down 20, 30% in 2 days. ABAT, also another extended name. It's down 35%. So WWR, another thing, another one. They really did fail in the morning. They really did all first red day, I guess, or parabolic short. They did work, and then they just slowly regained everything back. And this thing was up from as low as 63%. Like that's a huge bounce. Wasn't expecting that, but it did happen, and then it gapped down, and then sold off. Yeah, it sucks, but oh well. It's part of the game. This was another one. MedC, USAR. Yeah, so that was what I want to talk about today. First trade back in a while. I was really super confident in this one. I was super confident in what was going to happen. I just wasn't super confident in my abilities to make the trade happen. I was scared, and it cost me. Cost me a lot of money, actually. It cost me a lot of money. But either way, This sector, I think, is still. I don't know if it has some more room to go. Honestly, I think if the tensions keep rising, then I do believe that they have some room. But for the short term, I believe this is a short term top for these at the moment. Let's look at this sector. There's a lot of names associated with this. These are some of the strong ones. I think these are more of a bigger. No, this is a small cap, but this might be something else. Might be gold or something. I don't know. It's part of the sector, but it's more uranium based. So I might have to take this one out. This one, I was in this one down here actually, and I sold it here, and now it's here. Crazy, you know. This 330% move. Nothing. My MUX missed this one. Been paying attention to it. You see, this bunch of these names are red on the day. You can see there's only like 4 of them up, and some of them aren't even associated with these. UUU surprisingly is red on the day when LEU is up. Let me look at my uranium names here. Nope, that's quantum. Idiots. Here they are. Wow, look at these. Some of them are weak. Overall sector is strong. Oops. Silver. Jeez Louise. Insane. Anyways, going back to this. You see, this one was just like the worst out of all of them. Yeah. So this is a video of talking about what my trade was. This was yesterday. My trade was yesterday. Couldn't make a video yesterday. What my thought process was, what I was looking for, and I'm gonna study every single one of these. I'm gonna do a write up. I've actually started on it already. If you can look here, you can see this is old. But this is crazy too. I wrote quantum death for now, right when Deep Sea came out. Or no, I'm sorry, when Jensen Huang, um, kind of talked about quantum and kind of like shat on it. But I mean, this moves now are like nothing compared to what these names are at now. So you can see this thing was just insane. But and they're back up. They're crazy. But right here, minerals sector hype. I talk about what happened, um, supply to trade wars, whatever. And I put every name in here that I could find so far. Some of these had to be logarithmic because some of these moves were insane. For example, like this one, I think WWR, like just the way it looked on the on the regular scale. I think it's arithmetic. Um, you just couldn't view it. It just didn't look good. Same with CRML. Um, just insane. Just insane. Some of these names and the moves that they made. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I think that's the end of the video. That's all I have to talk about really. CRML. I did a deeper dive on this one. I talked about it, how it first started moving. It's made an insane move. Like 1,000+% move. 1,200% move. Maybe more. So I really want to understand. One thing I wasn't understanding on these big hype sectors and moves was what was causing them to move. I know like sometimes you don't even need to understand it, but I feel like understanding it would give me more confidence on why it's moving. I just didn't have the confidence in the sectors, but I've learned my lesson. Trust me, I've learned my lesson. These things can keep going and going and going. Like for example, Hood, what I used to be in. I used to be in Hood. I sold it down here, in this area here, like a 107, and then the SPY news it gapped up. Once it broke this level, it was like off, and then like another like breakout here. Man, LAU, NBIS. This one keeps going. MP. This one kept going. Like all these names that I was in, like none of them have really gone down. Like I've sold them, but they've all gone straight up. But yeah, that's about it. All I had to talk about today. don't have anything planned tomorrow. Maybe some continuation shorts, or there might be some bounces on these plays tomorrow. But yeah, I don't really see much. I think was there an offering after hours? I don't know. But anyways, see ya.